Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night here on Northwoods TCG. So tonight we're going to be having a little bit of a chat. Of course, as you can see by the title, invest in this Pokemon product now. No, not that one. So we have a lot of individuals, and this is going to be part of the conversation that is going to be based on this. Hey, FOMO, hey, Carl Jacobson, thank you so much for being first, and iFOMO being second. Thank you so much. Before we get started into all of this, we'll do a quick acknowledgement for people that are here. Thank you guys and appreciate you guys coming in. Today I've been seeing a lot of things, just once again, you cruise the internet, you watch some information, you sit there and watch what people are talking about, and you sit there and listen to YouTube while I'm driving. A lot of times I catch up on lives, like PK's lives, and Dan, I catch them on collectibles, things that are going on in the hobby. I definitely try to make sure that we just keep up with all of the things that are going on, and that way I know kind of where people are at, because there's a lot of good information out there still in the hobby. There's some really good things happening still in the Pokemon TCG. Certain products are doing extremely well, certain products are moving a little bit slower, the Scarlet and Violet still is Scarlet and Violet. To date, it really hasn't not had very much that's been a big breakout besides 151. So there's a lot of things going on in the hobby, and yet I still see a lot of investment channels still talking about investing into everything. And to me, it is a sound facet. And for some individuals in this hobby that have money, that have a large sum of money built up on the side for doing that, it's definitely a very, very sound application. It's definitely a great way to cover all your bases and be sure that you're giving yourself the best bang for your buck, right? You're going to give yourself the best opportunity to hit whatever does well. If you miss, then if you're not very good at selecting and you're not very good at making those decisions, then you're going to cover every basis that you have. But I think that it's very good to maybe, as time goes on, learn from things that we have seen and learn from past experiences when it comes down to investing in the Pokemon products. Now, Pokemon sealed products are doing well. They still continue to do really well. My investment so far, I just checked it out here, going into the last quarter of the year where my Pokemon investments are for this year, and they're still looking at about 24% gain. It's like 0.78% gain so far this year on all of my Pokemon products from the first of the year. So overall, still doing really well. As an investment, I can't really complain. I mean, nothing out there currently is even doing as well as that. My 401k isn't doing that well. My property this year has not really gone up in value that much, and we've continued to see just moderate gains. And right now, Pokemon is still the number one investment I have that is doing extremely well. And it's just because, number one, I've learned over time, and it's something that anybody can learn. It just takes some time to really discover which products are going to do the best. And it gives you the good insight on which ones you should put more money into and which ones you should maybe take your time and let them mature a little bit before you jump into them. All products seem to do extremely well. It just sometimes takes time for them to mature. And keeping that money from being dead money is a very important aspect when it comes down to investments. So I see a lot of people sitting out there right now when it comes down to investment. This is going to be a good investment because of this. This is going to be a good... And, they are not completely wrong, but on the other hand, I hear them putting in a lot of information where they're not completely right either. They're not really explaining, once again, why that product will do that well. What is giving this the edge? Why is 151 the best set in Scarlet and Violet? And most of us, from the day that we saw what the set entailed, were saying that. It didn't take the set coming out and doing well for us to jump into it and say, yes, this is going to be a fantastic set because look at what's done. No, we were saying it before it was released. Now, that's why a lot of us have really turned attention to, we got Team Rocket coming up and we have Gym Challenge, the Eevee Heroes 2. Why are we pegging on those ones? I'm hearing a lot of the, not just investors, but a lot of people that are collectors, a lot of people in this hobby. And a lot of times, I don't necessarily even look at the actual product. Let's be 100% honest. I look at the hype and FOMO behind specific products, especially when we start getting more information of that product. The information comes through, and when that information comes through, it gives you a feeling for how that product may perform in the market. And I specifically look at the groups that have money. So, best people to look at when you're trying to decide whether or not some of these products sometimes are going to do well are a lot of times Pokemon knowledge. Jake at Pokenomics. You can go through and see people that age group. The Dan at Catch 'em All Collectibles. We can even go through and say Pokemon Wonder and who is Danny Phantom getting into? Where is All of these content creators give you a very good feel for when information is released on a set on whether or not you're on the right track a lot of times. Because, once again, I look at who has money now when it comes down to how well these investments will do. Because if we're excited in them and we do enjoy them and they're really, really hot sets for us, the chances are is that we're going to be the number one buyers of these ones. And I'm not saying that every group is the same. I'm not saying that, we're the most high valued group out there. That's not exactly what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that it's just a maturity thing. As people get older and as things kind of expand, and as your life continues to move forward, you realize that you can make more money in your career. You've learned how to save more money. You've learned how to be responsible with your money. You learn how to make business decisions and calls that are successful as you age and learn these things. It's a learning skill that you will find over time. And these are all factors that people really need to learn as they move on through this adventure through the Pokemon investing realm. Looking at products and looking how the older, I want to say the older millennials, the people that were 35 plus are reacting to particular sets, can give you a very good sense for how they are going to do long term. Look at Evolving Skies, and it was the same thing with Evolving Skies. A lot of us that were my age or right around it, with plus or minus 5 years of my age, were very, very excited for Evolving Skies when that released. We were really excited for the Moonbryon. We were really excited for the set in general, the Rayquaza chase. There was a lot to offer in Evolving Skies that everybody really liked. Same thing with Brilliant Stars. That's why I still have no problem putting money into Brilliant Stars. If I can get really good pricing on Brilliant Stars, guys, it's not a bad buy. I mean, my generation really does love that set. It's just we are placing our money in other places right now, and I feel that long term that's going to do extremely well. There's a lot of excitement. A lot of content creators said that was their favorite set over Evolving Skies, so it was kind of split there for a little bit. Because I do know Pokemon Knowledge was very clear when Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars that Brilliant Stars was a better set in his opinion. And there was a lot of content creators that were feeling that way. It was kind of a split diversity at one point when it came down to which one was going to be the better set of the Sword and Shield era. Was it going to be Brilliant Stars or was it going to be Evolving Skies at that point? And then Lost Origins showed up. And Lost Origins, in my opinion, is a little bit better than Brilliant Stars. So, my top three, of course, are Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, and Brilliant Stars. All of them very, very great sets, but you can see that the age group that's actually got the most buying power at this point in time, the most flexibility in our budgets, you can almost predict which sets are going to do well by the reactions for that group. And you don't have to just look at investment personalities. You can look at the people that are just opening packs. You can look at individuals on TikTok and all those areas to see what they are interested in and why they're interested in it. If they're starting to really talk about specific chases and specific sets, we see that. That's why Fusion Strike to me is doing extremely well as well. We're starting to see, even Fusion Strike was starting to get some push behind it. People were enjoying the set. It took a little bit. It took a little bit of time, but it was definitely something that's definitely caught traction. Fusion Strike took off. The second it sold out on Pokemon Center, boom, that thing exploded. Chilling Reign, another example. Perfect set. Lots of alternate arts in it. I really like Chilling Reign. A lot of us my age in that group were buying Chilling Reign, even when it was down in the dumpster for a lot of people calling it. When it was down around $80 to $82 a booster box, we were buying a ton of it because we thought that was going to do well. And that's a lot of times where those keys in the market, not just your own self, because let's be honest, I know my feelings on particular sets, but everybody likes to have that confirmation on those sets. Everybody likes to have that confirmation in how they feel to be able to maximize and make sure that they're making the right call, right? And that's a really, really good way. Now, not all Pokemon products are great things. We've seen sets like Brilliant or Battle Styles. Yes, first alternate art set. Broke open the alternate arts, but realistically, very, very weak set overall. Really, really weak alternate arts. Not really fan favorite Pokemon inside of there. Besides the Tyranitar. Tyranitar is good, decent, but it still has not hit the traction that we would have liked to have seen out of a Pokemon for an alternate art. It's still doing well. Not going to bash it. Not going to say it's horrible. It's just not performing to the standard that we are looking for in the alternate art era compared to a Tina or a Lugia or a Charizard V or going into that Gengar V Max or that Moonbryon or a lot of the alternate arts, them alternate art evolutions inside of Evolving Skies. So this is going to come into my next train of thought, which is going into the Scarlet and Violet era. I think the problem is, and this is why even myself, when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, I'm having a very hard time making decisions on where I am going to invest into. Where am I going to finally dump a lot of money? 151 was a no-brainer, right? Everybody in my group loved 151. It was instantly when it hit and said it was going, it became a very, very big buy for a lot of us when it came down to Pokemon investment. But all the rest of the sets to me are just, I mean, Evolve or Paldea Evolve. I like Paldea Evolve. I think it's got some really good artwork. I think it has a really good chase with that Magikarp. I think it's a really nice set in a way, but it's still not as strong as to me as I would like to see, like it was in a lot of the Sword and Shield sets, even back to Sun and Moon sets. You could even tell back then in 2018, before the boom, which sets were going to be very popular and which ones were going to be kind of duddish, just because of the fact of how many people enjoyed the sets. Who was enjoying opening it? Were collectors enjoying cards inside of it? Were you enjoying collector cards in it? Were people in your age group liking these sets? And then it's kind of a telltale for how much you should really try and buy those particular sets. Hidden Fate's huge fan favorite for me, for a lot of people out there at that point in time. They were really, really fun to chase. Really, really good set. Loved the Baby Shinies when they first came out. Loved the Charizard in that set. Overall, very, very fun set to chase. And we've seen that, right? That was one of the sets that did really well. Even Team Up. Team Up was kind of blah, but the only reason Team Up is doing so much better than the other tag team sets is because of the lack of print. I mean, comparatively to the other three sets, when you look at the team up sets, tag team is definitely, or team up is definitely the lowest. The tag team sets, had more print. Cosmic Eclipse is probably the second one where that last print kind of got canceled and all the product got dispersed into different balls and packages like that RCSV box and all those other things. That product got dispersed out pretty heavily, and that was one of the reasons that Cosmic Eclipse is still really decent as per pricing too, is because overall the actual print run on that was a little bit low as well. But overall, they weren't really short on the printing when it came down to the other two, and that's why overall they don't perform quite as much. But they were a lot of fun sets. I personally like Unbroken Bonds and Unified Minds. They're my two favorite sets. Cosmic Eclipse is just a banger because it has everything in it. I mean, it is a fully loaded you've got your trainer gallery, you've got your alternate arts, you've got your rainbows in it, you've got everything in that particular set. Cosmic Eclipse to me is a blast to open, was a blast to open even when it came out. A booster box was so much fun to get into because it had so much to offer in that particular box. So it's the same thing, guys. We're seeing the same problem, and I think that that's a problem that you're seeing when it comes down to investment right now. You could buy everything. Let's be 100% honest. You can go through and you can buy every single product that's out there, and you can put a little bit away and hope that one of them does well in the future. Maybe the next generation with some people with money will get into it and have some fun. But I think the other factor to it is that you still don't have the people with a lot of money into it really pushing. Look at the actual SIRs inside of these sets. There's only a few of them that are over $100 in general. And that's causing the booster boxes not to perform as well. Twilight Masquerade is performing fantastic. Why? Because it has a Greninja Chase inside of it. The Greninja Chase, to me, I like the Greninja Chase. I think it's a really, really fun card. I think it's a really fun chase, but I still don't get the artwork of that one necessarily as much as some people may. Greninja is a fairly new Pokemon character, and that's maybe one of them that could be a breakout character for individuals futuristically. Maybe that's going to be another one of those chase Pokemon that people really enjoy, and we're finally seeing its first real burst into the limelight here of where things may do well. So there's a lot of interesting things to unpack when it comes down to Pokemon investments. Which products you should buy, which products you should leave alone. Overall, I tend to get my feelings based on what I enjoy myself, and it seems like because I'm in that age group with the individuals that have the money right now and have the buying power and the expendable money a little bit more than some of the younger people. I'm not saying that all younger people, once again, clarifying, not all young people don't have money. I'm not saying that. It's just on average and on majority, people that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are going to continue to get more expendable money. Our careers are more. We make more income in our careers. Our families are starting to either A, get older and move out of the house. We're starting to see distribution on where our costs are going. We've paid off our homes. The expenses are going down. We're starting to get smart and pay off our debts. All of these things are starting. Our student loans are starting to go away by the time you're in your mid-40s. And these are all things, or should be going away by your mid-40s. Not saying saying everybody is doing that, but they should be. But these are all factors that can really drive the fact that these markets and the really good individuals to see who's going to have the money to spend on these products futuristically, who is going to be buying Evolving Skies booster boxes when it comes to the future here in the next year. Who's going to spend $1,000 on the booster box? Realistically, sit down and take a moment, and this is something I've pointed out before, but I think it's a really good thing to point out when you're thinking about selling something. Who is buying a $1,000 booster box right now? Is it an 18-year-old kid just coming out of high school that enjoys Pokemon? Or is it a 40 to 50-year-old person that has a career, a job, and expendable money on the side that's able to purchase that product? It's going to be the most of the time, 99% of the time, it's going to be the person in their 40s plus, 35 plus, that have that expendable money to do that. That's typically what we're going to see. Yes, there are people that are specifically in the Pokemon and make tons of money, so that are in their 20s, upper 20s, that are doing really well in Pokemon and will buy Evolving Skies. I 100% get that. There's always outliers, but in the general population, when you're talking about selling 10,000 booster boxes of Evolving Skies at $1,000, where is your market for that particular product? Same thing with any of the Scarlet and Violet products right now. The Evolving Sky, or the Scarlet and Violet era in general. Who is buying this product? You know, if you're going to look at investing into a product right now in Scarlet and Violet, who wants this in the long run, and who is going to pay more than MSRP for this particular product? Who is going to pay $200 for a booster box of Paldea Evolved? Who is going to pay $200 for a booster box of Temporal Forces, or Twilight Masquerade, or Surging Spark, or Stellar Crown? Who is going to do that? That is the market that you have to be considering when you're looking at investments, and how realistic is it to actually be able to obtain that market? You know, is these boxes going to double in price in the next 5 years, because which market is going to want them? That's the question you really need to be analyzing when it comes down to the investments right now that you are making. Overall, once again, Team Rocket, guys. I think Team Rocket set's going to be a really big banger. That's where the hype and FOMO is going to go. One thing I do have to clarify, too, that I was getting in the comments a lot on my last live. And I went back and listened to the live myself, and I was thinking that I said something wrong. And be honest with you, I feel like I didn't, but I really want to clarify the last live when it comes down to Pokemon 151. I know we're in there said that we were for sure never getting a reprint of 151. My opinion is that we are getting to the point where we will not. This may be, in my opinion, this may be one of the last big reprints or last reprints of 151. It's completely an opinion-driven idea. And the reason being is that a lot of people were pointing out that look at Crown Zenith, look at Shining Fates, look at all these previous sets in the Pokemon TCG and how much they printed of each one of them. The one thing that you're not taking into consideration is the amount of reduction in print run that we have seen in Scarlet and Violet. So far, the only set that has gotten a reprint in Scarlet and Violet to this date has been 151. No other one. There are no booster boxes, are pretty much non-existent. Product is disappearing off of the distributor's website. There's a lot sitting in Walmart's, Targets. MJ Holding apparently has gotten overloaded with the product, but in general, it's disappearing off the distributor sites, guys. It's just booster boxes are non-existent. Mason's been on here. If Mason's out there, I'm sure he'll tell you the same thing. Where are the booster boxes? We can't get booster boxes. We can't find them on our distributor websites. Yes, I think that there's base sets. Scarlet and Violet base set we can get. I believe Obsidian Flame, there's still some available, but there is other ones like Paradox Rift is available, but the only way I can get Paradox Rift is I have to buy base set. So they're making a lot of times where some of the ones, and that's the only reason Paradox Rift, in my opinion, is available. There's some Temporal Forces, and it's the same deal. You have to buy base set in order to get Temporal Forces or to get Paradox Rift. So if you feel like you can sell a case of Scarlet and Violet base, then you could buy a case of Paradox Rift, which is why those are sitting. Nobody wants to buy base set because, to be honest with you, base set just is not selling. It's not a huge market seller when it comes down to it. And that's a big factor as well. Why would you want to put on debt and hold on to product that's not selling to get product that's mediocre at best? I mean, it's not really selling huge. You're not seeing real increases. Twilight Masquerade, gone. You can't get the booster box that's sold out right away. So No, to me, it's really difficult in the Scarlet and Violet era because Twilight Masquerade is the first one we've seen a chase. Shrouded Fable, yeah, there's some really good playable cards, and they're all playable cards that are doing really well. It's really not collectors chasing that set. It's really not designed for the chase, for people that are looking for particular cards. It's basically just a playable set. Earthen Vessel. The number one card in the set right now is Earthen Vessel Gold card, which is, of course, one of the bigger playing cards right now in the Scarlet and Violet era. I use Earthen Vessel in like 3 of my different decks. So it's a very, very common deck. Our deck card, we use it a lot, and it's just cool for the people that are blinging their deck, are really chasing that particular card. That's the only reason that's even popular, why it's so high in price. Newest set, Stellar Crown. We are seeing some decent rates on the Ivy or Bulbasaur and the Squirtle. Lacey's doing really well as well, and then the top chase is going to be that Terrapogus EX. Once again, it's a playable card, so it's doing really well on that factor. I don't know if it's going to hold that value for very long. I haven't checked it today, but the last time I looked, it was just pretty much staying stagnant on that after the release of it. So let's take a look. Where's Terrapogus EX right now? The Terrapogus EX is still sitting at about $120. It dropped down because it was at $150. It went down to about $112, and now it's back up to about $119.99 is the next one on the sale. I'm just looking to make sure. Yeah, $119.99. So it looks like we're going to be sitting at about $120. It's kind of where we've been for the last few days, around that $115, $120. So overall, we are seeing exactly that. It's just kind of sitting there, kind of stagnant. Question is will it maintain that strength, and will it stay up, or will it go up more, or is it just going to stay flatline there? Is this one that I'm willing to buy? I'm personally not buying it currently. Greninja at that price, I bought him because Greninja at that price I felt was going to do really well. I thought Greninja had a lot more fan base behind it and collectors that were interested in that particular card, and that's why I was comfortable buying Greninja all the way up until 160. I bought them from 120 to 160. I bought like 4 or 5 of them in that range, and then I sold them all now about around that $300 range, 335 to 300, kind of sold them up in that range. So once again, there was opportunities. I don't see it with the Terrapogus. I just don't see that one being as popular. I could be wrong. 100% an opinion again. I just don't see the buyer base behind this particular card compared to a Greninja. That's just the way that I personally see it. Next set, Surging Spark. We're going to have some Pikachus in there. Have not done a look-see. Has there been an update now for the card list for Surging Spark? Let me take a look real quick because I like giving the information as we're going through. Surging Spark. What do we got for a set list here? So just to give you an idea what we got here. What do we got? So electric types, of course, we got that Magneton. The Magneton, the one that was the artist for the Magikarp and the Tino, was turned into a promo, of course. There's that cool terrestrialized Pikachu EX, of course, coming in there as well. Let's get down to the good stuff. Let's get down to the business here. I don't want to be looking at just the EXs. So we got the Switch Cart, so that's going to be a real popular one when it comes down to that. So the Switch Cart's going to become a playable for the A-Spec cards. The Colorless Energy is going to also be a good one for the that part. Looking at the Illustrator Rares, now that we got a full list of that, once again, nothing really. The Latios is going to be, of course, your big chase there. Or Latios is going to be a good Illustrator Rare on that one. Cool full arts. I do like the Pikachu full art. That's going to be a fairly decent one, I believe. Couple good trainers now. We got 2 good trainers. I think they're going to be good chases. And then that Latios is going to be the Secret Illustrator Rare. I don't know why they didn't make them both that way. But, yeah, 1 good trainer there, too. So, I mean, I think it'll be decent with the Latios. The Pikachu, of course, I don't see a Secret Rare Pikachu yet. I thought there was going to be one, but they don't have it in here. They just have the terrestrialized one. So, just the full art terrestrialized one. So, we'll see. Hopefully there'll be a full Secret Rare on that as well. But overall, once again, that's probably a set that I'm interested in. I'm kind of watching it. Am I putting money into it? No, I'm holding money for Team Rocket. Team Rocket set announcements. I'm waiting for them to come out. We're going to be... November 13th is the release, so around November 1st, we're going to be hearing, end of October here, we're going to be hearing everything for Team Rocket. What we're getting, is it a specialty set? Is it not a specialty set? Is it a full set? I know a lot of people were kind of upset because the talk is that it might be just a holiday set coming up here at the beginning of the year, like we've seen on the last couple years. You know, because we've, you know, you look at it past the last 3 years, we've gotten a holiday set right around that February, March. So you can look back, we got Crown Zenith. 2 years ago, we did get Paldean Fates this year at the beginning of the year. The year before that, we got a couple one there too. So it's just like, it's kind of a trend that we're continuing to see when it comes down to those particular products. So is it going to happen? I hope not. I'd really love to see a booster box, personally. I think it'd be a great booster box set, and I think overall, I think it'd be a missed opportunity in Pokemon to make that a specialty set. Does Pokemon really care? No, not really. They're going to do what they're going to do. Could be a cool promo, a Giovanni's promo, or something inside of the Team Rocket set would be awesome. I think it'd be really cool to see that. A good Giovanni SIR would be really, really cool to see. There's some really good dark Pokemon. I'm really excited to see dark Pokemon come back as well. I also hope that at some point they go back to like that Neo era and bring back light Pokemon as well. Do the counter, the dark to light Pokemon events. That was really fun to do back then as well. So, yeah, I mean, overall, market looking good. Investments, really use your keys. Start looking at individuals for what they're really investing in. 151, you can see all of us are excited for 151. When there's any opportunity at 151, definitely us jumping at it. I mean, I'll jump at any 151 that comes across an MSRP at this point. If it's under MSRP, it's for sure going in my cart. Not even questioning, not even slowing down. That thing would burn a hole through my cart and hit it so fast. So if you're sitting there looking at where your investment should be going right now in Scarlet and Violet, I would say use your keys more. Start looking at the older collectors, the older openers, the older, people on TikTok, because they're going to give you probably the best directions and give you a little bit security to what you might be feeling. So if you're feeling like a set is going to do really well because it has whatever in it, start watching the hype and FOMO of other individuals and seeing how their reactions are, especially from that age group of like 30 plus. If they're like 30 years or older, I would definitely start using them for some really good reference, because they can give you a really, really good direction when it comes down to whether or not you're on track. I mean, if they say that the set's going to be junk and aren't really into it, maybe it's time to reconsider and re-examine that. You could be right. I'm not saying that you'd be wrong because everybody's feeling bad about it, but the tendency seemed to be that if a lot of us are feeling really good about a set, they seem to do fairly well, and if a lot of us are kind of poo-pooing a set, usually pretty lackluster. You can go all the way back to like Pokemon Go with that. A lot of us were not liking that set, and it never really took off. So, once again, guys, thank you guys, everybody. Like I said, that's my rant. That's all we're going to do for the rant side. I see the chat's a little bit weak right now, so if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. We can have any discussions that you want. Once again, just to be 100% clear, I am not saying that there was not going to be any reprints of Pokemon 151 in the future. My speculation and my opinion is based on how it's been currently, I don't feel that there will be another one. If there is, it's going to be very, very, very small. Very small. I don't think we're going to see any large reprints here in the near future of Pokemon 151. 100% opinion. Absolutely opinion-based. No fact to that. That's my feeling. That's my gut feeling. That's why I did the talk last week where if you have opportunities to buy these booster bundles and ETBs that are coming out in force at MSRP, at Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Amazon, all of them are having them. Even Pokemon Center. Don't wait. I would not be waiting any longer. This is not the time to be waiting on those at MSRP. You know that if you buy them at MSRP and you need to dump them, you're going to make your money back on them. You're not losing money by buying those at MSRP at this point in time. Those 6-pack booster bundles or the ETBs. You got a safety net, guys. It's a safety net product. Why wouldn't you buy them at MSRP if you have the money right now? If you don't have the money and you're hoping for another round, I feel that you're getting to the point where you're completely on a crapshoot and you're really, really stretching it to hope that's going to happen. That's just been the tendency of Scarlet and Violet. That is how they've been doing print runs. That is how things have been working. We have not had any sets with any other print runs. So that is a big factor when it comes down to that. All right, let's go back to the chat now. I see Son of a Merc. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the orange heart. Greatly appreciated. We got PokeNufo exclusive. Just picked up 29 Evolving Skies packs for $340. Now, what's that come out per pack? Because I really don't know if... I always go price per pack because that just gives me a really good. Right now, the market's about $14 price per pack. So if we go 340 divided by 29, yeah, you got a really good deal on that. You're about $11.75 a pack. That's not too bad at all. And I've been seeing a few deals on Evolving Skies. I think people are starting to I think what we're seeing a little bit too is people are getting excited for Team Rocket and Gym Challenge coming, which means some people are starting to push some product out. They're starting to push that market out a little bit. They're pushing out some of the stuff that they have to maybe get a little bit more income. Evolving Skies, a great way to build some income. If you've been holding those packs, especially pulling them out of tins, out of boxes, out of whatever products you can, and you've been holding on to them for a long period of time, definitely a great opportunity to jump into those right now. And I saw Danny Phantom did a video, and I'm going to check here real quick. Because what's the Charizard UPC up to now? I haven't looked at it. I saw Danny Phantom do a video on it where he's talking. Now, then again, he might just be pointing it out. I mean, well, they went down a little bit. So, I mean, they're about 150 still. So I guess they're right where they were, 150, 160. So they're kind of stagnated. They went up. They're kind of going down a little bit, which may be a good time where they might be going to bounce again. Because I'm looking at the sales. There's 3-4 pages of them at 160. So they're going to be at 160 for a little bit here. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of eat through those ones. Pokenufo exclusive, better than going to the casino. Well, that's my opinion. Anytime you're doing this, you're doing a really good job on that part. I FOMO, you got the Pikachu magazine. I got an NFL, dude. I was actually looking for the Eevee one and the Gengar one. Those are the two other ones I want to get, the Times ones, but I've been waiting for them to show up in the at the store, just hoping that they would before I purchase them, but I will be getting the Eevee one and the Gengar for sure. Let's see. Gimbo, welcome into the stream. Glad to see you here. What's good, my Poke people? Everything's good, my friend. Everything's going good. Looking great so far. Ma, thank you for joining the chat. What's your opinion on Paradox Rift market-wise, considering we have Surging Sparks and Team Rocket coming out in the near future? Like I said, Paradox Rift, once again, I think it's cool. I actually like that one better. Me, personally, I like it better than Temporal Forces. But, it's still not even my favorite Pokemon set in Scarlet and Violet. I even like Paldea Evolved a little bit better personally myself. It's just, it feels like a better set. Let me see. Rift. Paradox Rift. Where are we at? So Paradox Rift booster boxes right now still about $100. So really not seeing much growth in that market currently still. It's kind of just been flatlined at this point in time. So, you know, it's one of those things. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of growth. And, you know, overall, I think that it's good set. It's a decent set. I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I like the Roaring Moon in it. I like the Iron Valiant. I think it's a really, really cool artwork. It's kind of a subset, you know, in a way it's kind of a subset because you have that Ancient and Future deal going on, which only lasted for 2 sets now, and now we're out of it. So it's a cool little subset, a cool little sub-era inside of there that's kind of fun. But, yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm not putting any money into, like, Paradox Rift right now. I think that with the new sets, like you just said, Surging Sparks still iffy set. I am not sold on Surging Sparks yet. I really do want to see a set list before I go, I'm going into this at all. I think that my focus right now, and I think a lot of people's focus currently right now in the market-wise, is trying to get good pre-orders and strong pre-orders on the Team Rocket and also on the Gym Challenge Eevee Heroes 2.0 coming out in the near future here. So those, I think, are going to be the two focuses that we really have coming forward in the next year. Yeah, I really need to see a full set list. That is what I'm really looking for. I mean, every set list that I've looked at so far has been very, you know, partial. It's all bits and pieces. Like I said, I don't even know if there's going to be a Pikachu full art in this or a SIR in this one. I mean, if there's not, it's not going to be a great... I mean, they got to have an SIR. If they don't have a Pikachu SIR, I haven't looked at the Japanese set, so that's really going to be the factor on that one. Let's see. Gimbo's got a question here. If you had a case that appreciated to multiply thousands of dollars, how would you sell it? I like the idea of consignment, safe, and save on fee, but a little more complicated. Like I said, Gimbo, I would honestly consign something like that if I don't have my own connections. So if you haven't built markets and you haven't built up on the different sites where you might have availabilities to sell that at a better price, because the problem is like even Evolving Skies, if it gets $1,000 and you sell it, you're paying $130 is going to TCG Player if you sell it on TCG Player. If you sell it on eBay, $150 roughly is going to eBay for their fees and everything, and it's taking care on that. That's the problem, is a lot of these sites have such high fee rates, is that it's very difficult to make anything on it. I mean, even if you go to TikTok, I mean, it's 6% or 8% right now, so you're going to pay 8% on that, but you're going to save on the shipping fee. So you're going to pay $80 to TikTok just for selling that right now. So I do agree, consignments are very, very good, because there are individuals that have very good niches, very good selling services right now where they can reduce that fee down to like 2-3%. You might pay 8% at that point for total consignment. I don't know what they are. Dana Ketchmall Collectibles, once again, fantastic person. And once again, I'm going to give them a plug on every video because someone always asks. But definitely would be looking at that as well. So, yeah, I would definitely be looking at like Dana Ketchmall Collectibles. He has a market. He has a niche. He has people that are looking for him. And he's able to consign those and get you the best pricing you can without paying all those fees. But right now, if you're not trying to sell it currently, right now is the time to start building in like TikTok or some of these lower fee places where you can start building a website. Shopify really isn't that expensive per month. And I mean, realistically, I think I'm paying like $28 a month for a Shopify site for myself. And that $28 or $29 is realistically used. And it's everything I sell just goes back to that. So overall, another way to do it. Start building the website now, starting to get in some sales, start working on some things, just continually keep product and things on there and advertising it. And as you continue to keep growing and selling and moving things, you reduce those fees for yourself. And it's a fantastic way to do that as well. It just takes time. Everything takes time in this hobby. Building is going to take time. It's not as quick as it was in like 2020 to 2021 into 2022, where that market was just booming and pumping and pumping. And if you had something, you could sell it and get that rapport really quickly. Now it's going to take a little bit more push, a little bit more gain on it when it comes down to a little bit more work. There's work involved now, guys. This market is not a give me. The free tendies are gone. The give me's are gone. It's now a working environment. You're going to have to work at it. It's not easy to sell any longer just by hoping and putting a product on eBay and waiting. No, sometimes it takes changing the keywords. Sometimes it takes going through and seeing your analytics on whether or not someone's seeing that or not. Sometimes you need to go and change the titles or change the dates on things on when you're letting things release. Or sometimes you just need to work it and show that you're reputable and continue to try and working at those sales. Maybe breaking even or maybe making a small profit on some things just to get those sales going through and getting that star ratings and getting that growth that you're looking for so that people want to purchase from you. And that's the best way to reduce your fees. Start building. Spend a little time and effort now, sell enough to cover your fees and maybe break even for a while, and just build that rapport where that website's seen, where your sales sites are seen, and where you're starting to get those reductions in your fees by doing so. Son of a Merc. I wonder if this will be the norm from now on as far as sets go. Just oversaturated at the beginning and trickle in restocks when needed. That does really see... I really do see that being the new norm. It doesn't seem like we're getting any reprints on things. Distributors get like one big dose and then it's gone. The distributors push it out. Like I said, they do keep some back, obviously, because they have Paradox Rift and Terrible Forces are now showing up. But I got to buy Scarlet and Violet to get it. Do I want to buy Scarlet and Violet to get that deal? Not really. Personally, it's not really something I want to do. And they'll do that with other things. They've always done that in a way. If they get some junk product like Pokemon Go, that you had to buy a case of Pokemon Go in order to get a restock of, let's just say Lost Origin or Silver Tempest. You wanted more of that from distributor? Well, you're going to buy the Pokemon Go. You buy a case of Pokemon Go, we'll sell you a case of Pokemon Scarlet or Silver Tempest. So that's something they've always done, and that's kind of why I think that they're still on Southern Hobby right now. That's why there are some of these cases of booster boxes where they're going case for case. You want a case of Rift, you're going to have to buy a case of Scarlet and Violet base. You want one of Temporal Forces, you're going to have to buy this Scarlet and Violet. So they're pushing the Scarlet and Violet base right now, and they're holding the other ones hostage in order to do it. So we'll see. We'll see how that continues. You know, if they aren't selling the other two, maybe they'll give up on it and just let the base set sit. But we'll see how overall that'll go. We got Chris. Thank you so much for jumping in. He's got me tagged. Any update today on the Pokemon 151 reprint? I really don't. Nothing's really changed on that market. We had that big surge of it last week. Sleep Deals was doing a fantastic job keeping up. A couple other people on the Discord were definitely continuing to push and make sure that that was being seen as soon as it came up. So Walmart posts were coming up, Target posts were coming up. It did go through pretty much all of the major retailers at this point in time, but it was very, very quick. It wasn't big. It wasn't like there was a lot of product available. It was spurts. It's like you had 40 minutes to buy all this, buy what you wanted, and then it was gone. You had Pokemon Center, less than an hour, and it was up and it was gone for the boosters. ETBs, I have not seen ETBs listed anywhere at this point in time. So ETBs, I don't know if we are getting ETBs. I have no idea. Someone said we were. You know, there's been talk and that people said that they got all these different products, but we really haven't seen a huge like wave of product coming out for any of these products. They've just been kind of like little short spurts. Best Buy, like 7 times Best Buy had it up for like a half an hour. You had like a half an hour to buy as much as you could, and then they shut it down. It's like they were shutting it down and check their inventory in case things went crazy, and then they put it back up, and they'd run it for like 30, 40 minutes, and then they shut it down again. So it was like you were constantly just trying to catch these little spurts that they were doing. And Pokemon Center, 40 minutes and gone. Target, Walmart, Amazon were all doing the same thing. They were just these little spurts, little spurts to try and get in on it, and then it was gone like the wind. So yeah, that's definitely the update I have right now. It's just kind of hit or miss, and I don't know how big this thing is going to be. I don't know if it's really going to be a large reprint at all. It just doesn't seem to be coming out in any kind of wave that's noticeable to where you could really get time to get anything. It just hasn't happened yet. Gimbo, when was the last huge reprint dump? Silver Tempest, Lost Origins, or maybe Crown Zenith ETBs. That was a while ago, almost a year. Seems like they've been trickling out less now. Exactly. We had that big reprint at the end of Sword and Shield where we got Brilliant Stars. We got a Brilliant Stars and Lost Origins reprint. We got a Silver Tempest reprint, and we got a Astral Radiance ETB reprint. And I believe that was like at the end of 2023, like going into 2020 and beginning of 2023, we got that massive dump of Sword and Shield products, and we all kind of assumed that was probably the last reprint. And it was. We haven't had any reprints of any of those 4 sets since that dump. Crown Zenith is the other one. You're right. Crown Zenith showed up at the beginning of this year. We got that ETB dump, and then those have just kind of been trickling out. My Walmart shelf still has ETBs continuing to roll out for Crown Zenith. It's not something that's been like really, really slow. It's something that's been really, really slow. It just, they're not selling fast. The ETBs are still available. Right now I could go to my Walmart and I could probably buy 10 of them on the shelf right now. They're just sitting on the top shelf. Nobody's buying Crown Zenith. So I thought that set would do a lot better personally. I was kind of, I did a video and I remember I got a lot of flack because a lot of people were mad that I didn't think Crown Zenith was going to be a big rush. I said that there was time, the ETBs are going to come back, you're going to have plenty of reprints on this to get it, and everybody got mad in that video. I mean, you go back to look at the comments of people telling me I'm stupid, dumb, I don't know what I'm talking about, there's only going to be one reprint, and you got to get it now, you got to pay the extra, and you always get the people, no matter which side you pick in this market, if you pick that there's going to be reprints, there's going to be half the people that are ticked off because you say that there's going to be reprints, and if you say there's going to be no reprints, you get the other half of the people who are saying you're dumb because there's going to be reprints. And it's like, it's a very interesting dynamic in this hobby. A lot of times it is opinion based. Let's be 100% honest. I could be wrong at any time. I just look at where we've been and what we're doing, how Pokemon has handled itself in the particular eras, where we are at that time in space. When you're sitting here arguing a 151 reprint is going to happen again, and this isn't the last one. Well, what makes you think that? What in Scarlet and Violet has given you the idea that they're going to print this thing to the ground? Where has Pokemon showed that in the last, since Scarlet and Violet's been released? We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it on a single set. So where's your justification to say I'm wrong because they didn't Sword and Shield? Well, Sword and Shield's a different era. We had a whole different time in Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is a whole nother life of its own. It was just kind of a crazy time period in general from day one of that release. It's a different time. It's a different market. It's a different consumer when it comes down to the Pokemon TCG. The number of consumers has gone and changed a lot since the Sword and Shield era, and the actual cardboard itself has changed as well. The market itself, people aren't buying as much. It's playable. People enjoy it. It took a lot of time for even players to want to jump into the Sword and Shield, or from Sword and Shield into it for playability. It took a while for people to even grow on it for the playability side of things. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at a different market, and sometimes you have to analyze the here and now to make these decisions, not go based on how they did with Crown Zenith or how they reprinted, Shining Fates to the ground. Do I think that they will do more reprints of even Paldean Fates? Probably. But it just doesn't seem like we are getting that out. We aren't getting those reprints. We aren't getting doused with tons of product because the first runs that they're doing of a lot of these products seems to be enough to make them happy, and they're good with what they print on the first run. So 151, definitely an anomaly so far. It's gotten one reprint, so it's the first one that we know with a confirmed reprint in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's a changing time. So is it going to get another one? Can't tell for sure. Am I going to risk it when it comes down to the product lines that are coming out there right now? No, I'm not going to risk it. It's just not. The first time I risked it. I risked it for the biscuit. I let it ride. I bought some. I bought my safety nets, but I didn't really, pack down like the 6-pack bundles. I wanted probably 3 times as many, and now I got them. But I wanted 3 times as many as I had because I felt that they were going to do extremely well. I let them ride because I thought there'd be a reprint 151. I got lucky. I was actually getting extremely nervous that we weren't going to get one. And now that they've kind of rolled through again, it was fantastic. I actually got the products I was looking for. I was able to get the stock of product that I wanted to withhold in my hands. So I'm happy with that. So overall, really, really happy with the current circumstances. And it gave me an opportunity to get what I wanted, but it was a risk. Right now, any kind of reprint, if you're waiting on reprints on Scarlet and Violet, it's a real questionable risk. I don't know if it's going to happen on all these products. I would have thought by now we'd be getting all kinds of notifications for reprints of everything prior for booster boxes. I haven't gotten it. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come through. So once again, I talked to Jake the other day from my rep at ADC, and he said they don't have any news. They're not getting anything from Pokemon Center of upcoming. 151 was the only one that they knew that they were getting some in, and like you said, it was booster boxes and ETBs. Or the booster bundles and ETBs. Those are 2 things that he said he knew. And then they were getting some of the other things like the poster collection, the Zapdos box, and the Alakazam boxes. So let's see. And of course, I haven't talked to him for about 2 weeks, but that's where we were 2 weeks ago on that. Where are we at? We were up here. Carlson, or Chris. Chris Carlson. True set list before you buy Surging Spark. Exactly, I want to see a full set list. Chris said, truly hope the gym trainer take Team GX set of 2025. Vibria, thank you so much for joining in. Love the content, bro. Crypto and cardboard, baby. That's the way to go. Chris, I see nothing wrong with eBay selling if you have valuable items. Cheaper items, not so much. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you got a high-end item, as long as you don't mind paying 15% out of your pocket to list it there, that's definitely not a bad source at all for selling. I mean, it's reliable. It sells well. High-end items sell really well in there for sure. iPhomo, thank you so much for putting up the merch. Once again, we do have Northwoods TCG merch and the link that iPhomo put up. Check out the shop. We do have sweatshirts as coming into the fall season as well. So you can do sweatshirts or t-shirts for your whichever you're feeling or your climate. Son of a Merc, Gimbo, I definitely go try to unload with Dan. He's starting his live bidding and may be looking for inventory. Yeah, that's another factor too. He is starting to do the live bidding, so he might just buy it straight off you himself. So that might be an option as well. Not saying he will, but I mean, I know he's probably I know he has a lot of inventory, so it's really hard to say what Dan's going to want. Chris, thanks for the update. I'm going to have to check my local stores. I have not seen anything at local stores yet. Anything actually in the brick and mortar store, I have not seen. Everything for this so far for the bundles and for everything has been strictly online. There's been nothing at the stores, but I have been watching. Every single Thursday and Friday, I go and scan the stores looking for 151 products because I would be all over that. Hey, Slug Nasty, how you doing? Struck Nasty, hopefully you've had a good weekend and a good week to start off. My FOMO, Dan always prefers buy it now. He does. Son of a Merc, let's see, everybody's saying what's up. Different times. Gimbo, do you think Paldea Evolved is an actual reprint or just clearing out old stuff in the warehouse? Let's see, that sounds like a few of them. Eli got news about a Paldea Evolved reprint. So, let me check real quick. Take a look. I did not, but, you know, that doesn't mean nothing yet. Like I said, I'm low man on Totem Pole, so sometimes I'm like the last man to know. So let's see, what do we got? I can always look at the store and see my new. I didn't get any emails on it though. So once again, while I'm in here, I'm also going to remind you, I'm trying to get 20 booster boxes of Japanese 151. Right now we're up to 9. So if anybody wants to jump in at $80, check out my Discord. There is a link up right now for purchasing that. I'm trying to get, like I said, I'm trying to get 20 of them or as close to it as I can. And I'll probably make up the difference on it for all the orders. I've had 3 orders of 3. So if I could get at least, I'd like to try and get at least 15, and then I can cover, you know, take the other 5 myself. That's not a problem. Or just keep them listed if anybody else wants them. So, let's see. Twilight Masquerade. I don't have any pre-orders or reorders for Paldea. So I'm looking at my news in here right now. I mean, I got Temple Forces, but Temple Forces I got to buy, it says right on here, I got to buy base set. Same thing with Paradox Rift. They got to buy base set. So the only way I'm getting those is I'm buying base set. There's some Paldea Evolved sleeve blisters. I don't have any booster boxes though. Paradox Rift sleeve blisters are back as well. So those are the sleeve blisters. Let's see. Scarlet and Violet sleeve blisters have been there forever. And them things are probably getting moldy in the back. I don't have anything. No news. And Southern Hobby doesn't have any news right now of a reprint. So I don't know. If Eli's getting it, I don't know who his distributor is out there or, you know, who he's using. I've never really asked him. So I'm not 100% sure on that fact. He might be getting a reprint or, like you said, it could literally just be a restock. Maybe they're pushing some stuff out of the Pokemon warehouse to make space for the next thing. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have any news from Southern Hobby or ADC, so both of those two are not giving me news of a Paldea Evolved V reprint. I'm not saying Eli's wrong. I'm not getting information on it yet at this point in time. Let's see here. They set them up for 60, right? Oh, Above Savage, thank you so much for joining. Glad to see you here in the chat. Hopefully you're having a good one so far. Son of a Merc, 60 cases of Paldea, and PokeAny made a video of them dumping it on them as well. About freaking time. 60 cases seems like a very little for Eli. No. It really depends on the market. Once again, I mean, it depends on the price, too. You got to remember, right now, the other catches, too, is... So I'm going to look at right now. If I were to go TCG Player, just say the easiest outlet to sell stuff right now, Paldea Evolved is $131 a booster box currently. So now if I were to, just for example right now, though, if I wanted to buy... And it's not up. I don't have availability for Paradox or Paldea Evolved right now. The only thing I have available right now that I can buy at distributor for booster boxes is Temple Forces. And if I buy Temple Forces right now, I got to pay $107 for that stupid box. So you see how much my price margin gets eaten up. Paradox Rift is actually my lowest at $91 a booster box currently. I can get it. With plus, it's 91.48. Just to give you an idea, a price on this. So, but it's right now. It's only $100. So once again, it's not worth me even buying that. That's the only two booster boxes right now, and base set is $90. So $90, 90.73 is base set. So I can get base set booster boxes for $91 a piece. Once again, no market. So if I buy them, even if I buy Paradox Rift to get a case of, if I want to get a case of Paradox, I got to buy a case of Scarlet and Violet. In order to do that, I make zero money on any of them on TCG Player. I've got to sell them outright myself for $100 a piece in order to even make any money on them things. By the time I pay shipping too to get it here. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that maybe there would be Paldea Evolved. I just haven't gotten it myself. I haven't gotten any emails from either one of my two distributors. So, I don't know. I'm not having it. Not saying he's wrong. Not saying he's lying. Not saying anything. If you got 60 cases, fantastic. And who knows, like you said, maybe it's a restock. Maybe they just his distributor maybe they found the pallet of it. I mean, they had a pallet in the back corner. They actually pulled it open and went, oh yeah, here you go. Here's 60 cases of it if you'll take it. And that could be a very real possibility as well. So, I haven't heard it, but doesn't mean it's going to happen. And he argued the point that if they are dumping them to him, that means no reprint and moving out the old for the new. And that would be my argument too. If they're dumping it on him and going, it's yours, I'm willing to bet it's not a reprint. Yeah. I would love to get more Paldea Evolved. Overall, I like the set. It's probably one of my favorite full sets in the Scarlet and Violet era at this point in time. I know a lot of people that are chasing the Magikarp really do want to see a reprint of that. Or some do, some don't. People are still chasing the Magikarp, want to see a reprint, and people are looking for PSA 10 ones are looking for a reprint. The people that already have PSA 10 ones don't want a reprint because they don't want a whole flood of those coming out into the market. I do know that there's kind of a mixed bag on that one, whether or not they want one or not. But currently, I don't have any evidence of a reprint. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying Eli is wrong. Maybe it just hasn't gotten through all the distributors yet. Maybe his distributor got early knowledge of it too, and he knows about it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just don't have any information on a reprint currently at this point in time. I mean, I can buy ETBs. If you guys want Paldea Evolved ETBs, I can get those right now from distributor. But there's specific products that are still available. Do I even have the sleeve blisters of PE? I don't think so. I don't think there's any. One thing that's left is ETBs and built-in battles. Yeah. Well, there's nothing else for PE right now. So that's the only two options right now that I have for Paldea Evolved. Is they have the built-in battle boxes, so I can buy a built-in battle kit, or I can buy the Elite Trainer boxes. Those are available on stock right now. Okay, let's go on through. Looking through Above Savage. Same Man videos are very good, and I like the vibes. Thank you so much. Let's see here. So Gimbo, I think Twilight gets a reprint. Cases are so expensive now. Crazy seeing how fast it's been rising. Twilight Masquerade is a very playable set. Why am I drawing a blank now? Teal Mask and Hearth Mask, Ogerpon. The Ogerpon decks are becoming very strong, and now with Surging Spark, Stellar Crown, that's come out too. It's kind of bolstered Twilight Masquerade a little bit. It's bolstered that Ogerpon deck a little bit and given it some fire or some strength. Also, dumb as it sounds, it's strengthened that Charizard deck as well. So that Charizard deck is coming back as well. They've got more cards to make that Charizard EX deck more playable. So they just strengthened the Charizard EX deck. So I've been seeing that making a resurgence again, that deck is coming back with a couple of the Apex cards that came out here, and also some other cards inside of there too. I was going to look at revamping mine as well. So yeah, Twilight Masquerade doing fantastic. That Greninja Chase, number one. Number one thing you have in there is that Greninja Chase. That is why that booster box is doing so well. Because you take a look at the price of that Greninja right now, $300 for that card. And, you know, it's a good chase and it's playable. So there's a lot of cards. Even the common cards sell fairly well. So it's not too far out of the range to be able to, or be buying that particular packs and doing well just on the common cards for the playability of that set. So once again, not a bad set overall. I think that that's probably the strongest set right now in this era. And yes, it's probably definitely the one that's the number one for a candidate for a reprint as well. Just because of the fact it's playable. There's players that want it. It's being refortified for the decks coming up here because Stellar Crown is going to fortify that playability a little bit. And so that's going to really change the focus of the TCG as well. As we're coming in, another thing you got to take into consideration too, we are going to be getting an announcement here quickly for when we're going to be getting another set change. So you got to remember, we're going to be going out of rotation here as well. So everything in Sword and Shield, as of this next set change or rotation, will be gone. That will no longer be playable in the TCG. So now there's going to be a real big change up on what cards and commons and uncommons and trainers and all that are all going to come up for talk as well for changing things up. Lugia decks are finally going to be dead as well. So we're going to be losing those here probably coming up in March or April this year. So, of 2025. So, yeah, that's another thing to be considering as well. We have rotation coming up here just around the corner and announcements of when that's going to happen. So let's see. We got Son of a Merc. He said, how's Paldea moving for you on TikTok, if any? I honestly don't have any for sale right now on TikTok. The last little bit sold out probably a month ago. And, you know, that's the only little bit that I've sold. What I've been doing on TikTok, to be 100% honest, when it comes to sales in Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield stuff I will keep listed all the time, and I will continually sell Sword and Shield stuff. It just continually kind of rotates through. Pokemon 151, Japanese or English, just continues to rotate through. You know, like these. I buy these booster boxes here. You know, I'll buy these ones for $42 a piece, and I will sell these for $72 a piece. I just bought them because right now I can sell the packs. I can sell them for about $104 to $115 a piece on TikTok. So overall, those do well. Japanese 151, English 151. Sells extremely well in the Sword and Shield era, or Scarlet and Violet era. The one problem that I have for sales in Scarlet and Violet is that I don't buy stuff when I sell out before the next set. Scarlet and Violet only sells well until the next set's released. Twilight Masquerade so far has been the only exception, and I have considered buying more Twilight Masquerade. So basically what has happened, when Paradox Rift was released, Paradox Rift sold really well until Paldean Fates released. When Paldean Fates released, everybody went to Paldean Fates. Paradox Rift sales completely dropped off. Paldean Fates was hot. Then we had Temporal Forces come out. When Temporal Forces came out, Paldea Evolved slowed way down and sales almost dropped out while Temporal Forces went way up. Twilight Masquerade came out, Temporal Forces dropped, and then you had Twilight Masquerade. Stellar Crown, or Shrouded Fable was the first example where it didn't affect Twilight Masquerade sales. Shrouded Fable was not a strong set. It just did not sell very well. Very, very slow. I only sold 10 ETBs worth. That's it. Nobody was really interested in it, and it took me way too long to sell those 10 ETBs. I didn't even buy any more, because typically I would go and try and buy one more round of it before Stellar Crown came out to try and maximize my gains on that particular set. Didn't happen. Didn't buy any extra. It just never really pushed through when it came down to sales. And now Stellar Crown's come out. Twilight Masquerade has slowed. It hasn't dropped because there's still that good chase in it. Stellar Crown now everybody's buying. So it's like the second the next set comes out, all the other sets become irrelevant. Once in a while, you'll have someone pop up that's looking for, like you said, Paldea Evolved. All of a sudden, I had Paldea Evolved sitting in my bin I had like 15 packs sitting in there for 6 months. At least 6 months. It was sitting here. Nobody bought it. All of a sudden, someone came in and wanted Paldea Evolved and bought all 15 of them. So then they finally went. So it literally takes one person to come in and buy it. It happens, but it's... Scarlet and Violet's completely different. Sword and Shield, I can continue to buy Sword and Shield. I buy these blisters. They just continually rotate. I can buy them and they rotate right through, and I can make them go. They just continually sell. People are continually chasing the Tina. They're chasing the Lugia. They're chasing the Charizards and Sword and Shield. They're chasing those alternate arts. Evolving Skies still sells really well, so there's always that continued sales on those. But Scarlet and Violet, completely different animal even on the sales side. It is literally a chase until the next set comes out. So when that set comes, this set gets released, it's hot. When the next set gets released, the last set dies. It's just gone. Pokemon TCG. What's Andy? Hope all is well. Have you heard about Target stores getting 151 2-pack blisters, or 151 2-pack blisters with 151 booster pack and one other Scarlet and Violet pack? I have not. That would be I have not heard of that. That is really interesting, because that would be the first time I think I would have ever seen that. Is it a Pokemon product or is it an MJ Holding product? Because I've seen them do that, like Shining Fates showed up in those MJ Holding products when they did like the 4-packs. They put Pokemon Go, Shining Fates inside those little Thunder or Lightning packs or whatever they were. I'm just curious to know if it's a MJ Holding product or, you know, the Fairfield company or one of those other side branches is doing that, because that would be interesting on that point. So let's see. Yeah, kind of interesting. It'd be interesting to see how they did that. Above Savage, are you going heavy into Surging Sparks? No. Not until I see the set list. It really will depend on the set list. It really will depend on the artwork that's inside that set, what actually makes it into the English version. But personally, I am not really going to go heavy into it. And number one reason why is I am more concerned about Team Rocket and Gym Challenge coming up. I think both of them sets are going to blow everything out except for 151. I think 151 is going to be the only set that's going to hold value comparatively to the other ones. So 151 is going to hold its ground, I think, fairly well. And other than that, I think we're going to see a real big slowdown on Surging Spark, even Stellar Crown. I think that Team Rocket and that are really going to accelerate. Just looking through another set list here. See, yeah, I mean, there's just a Surging Spark breaker card. That's it. They don't show. None of the set lists I look at show an SIR Pikachu, and I have not looked at the Japanese set to know for sure. Let's see. We have Civic. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome on in. We're about to call it quits here, guys. Just so you guys know, we're going to go till a few more minutes here, because I'm going to be heading upstairs here in just a few minutes. Let's see here. Above Savage, do you... Oh, sorry. Pokemon TCG. Handy, I'm going to be doing my first Rip and Ship Wednesday, 9:25, Friday, 9:27, and Saturday, 9:28 at 7 p.m. Where are you going to do that? And if you could on Discord, hit me up and share a link. I'll come out and hang out with you. So let me know where you're going to be, and I can come support you a little bit. Son of a Merc, do they do that with specialty sets? I thought that they were all scheduled to do their own thing. They are. Son of a Merc. That's where I was really curious with Pokemon TCG. Is it a Pokemon product, like a Pokemon TCG product that's doing that, or is that like an MJ Holding, or because MJ Holding might be trying to sell a shit... Sorry, no swearing, sorry. A crap product, a crap pack with a good pack. So you want the 151, you're going to buy the crap pack because MJ Holdings got too many of it. So yeah, it's I'm willing to bet they're going to put something that's not selling well, Obsidian Flame. They'll put in, base set, something like that, more than likely. Knock it off, camera. So yeah, that's what my feelings are, is that they're going to do on that is that they're going to do a 151, and that 151 is going to come with a junk pack that's really hard to sell. It's just not selling well. So that's probably what we're going to see. That would be MJ Holding, and that would be our Fairfield company, whichever one. It'd be interesting to see the pack itself on who's producing that, because it would be weird for them to pull that out. I don't think Pokemon's doing that. I think that's like those, because they have like Walmart has those 2-pack blisters too, and they're usually just one decent pack with one garbage pack. So I've seen them with like Fusion Strike with a Paldea, or back in the day Paldea Evolved and a Fusion Strike, or they would have a Battle Styles with a Chilling Reign, or they something that was a little bit more appealing to try and sell both packs. Let's see. Son of a Merc. Oh, Nick Landon, thank you so much for dropping in. Glad to see you here. Holding on to Evolving Skies cases for 10 more years. Yeah, that's my plan too. I've got 5 of them, and they're just going to sit right here in my corner probably for the next 5 years minimum, unless for some reason I have a life event that needs to sell it, which is nice because whatever they're at that point in the market, I'm still going to make good money on them. So that's that's a good factor to that. Civic, smash that like button. Yes, thank you so much, Civic, for that. Greatly appreciated. Up to 17 likes with 18 viewers. Very, very nice. Pokemon TCG. Any tips on rip and ships? Only shipping within the U.S., not dealing with international. Just be personable. Be honest. Have some fun. Try and make it a little exciting when you're opening things. Anything you open that's even an EX, make it sound exciting, like it's the best pack you've ever opened. That's going to be my advice. It seems people love to think that everything is just a great hit, and it's exciting. I mean, they're paying. If they're paying for rip and chips, they're paying for excitement. That's what they want. So give them the excitement. Have fun. Enjoy it. You know, be personable. Have talks. Don't expect, especially starting out, that you're going to have a lot of sales. I will warn you about that. It takes a little bit for people to get comfortable with you, and then you'll get like a following. So when I go online, I have probably like 10 individuals that continually just come back to me. They love the conversation, they love the talking, and they love to have fun with that as well. So yeah, definitely just be yourself, have some fun, and remember, it's an entertainment. You got to entertain. So that's the harder part to do, and that's the harder part to realize when you're doing it, is that it is entertainment. You must entertain. Make every VMAX, every EX that you pull seem like it's the first time you've seen it, and it's the best card you've ever seen. So that's the best way. Entertain. That's the biggest thing you got to learn, is just be an entertainer. Pokemon TCG, I saw on Walmart online Unbroken Bonds 3-pack booster bundles for $19.98. I tried to order, but it says in store. Yeah, someone was saying that they were finding them in the 3-pack blisters as well, finding some old Sun and Moon sets. So I was been looking at mine, and it hasn't happened. Trust me, I found Battle Styles, Darkness Ablaze ones here not too long ago. That was kind of cool. I found Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, and some Rebel Clash in the bin as well. So they do show up, and then maybe that's just MJ Holding pushing some out. Now, granted, is every Walmart going to get that? Is every MJ Holding branch going to get that? Probably not. It probably just gets spread out so fast, and you have got to be there immediately and hope that they didn't put it up front. Because if it's in the back, definitely they got the 3-pack blisters. My guy likes to put all the new stuff in the back. So you got to almost look at the back before you look at the front. And that's a good thing, too, because if people aren't looking for them and they aren't looking for those 3-pack blisters, then they miss those things, and it gives me an opportunity to grab them. Pokemon TCG. Those 151 blister 2-packs, I think, are going to be a third party. Yeah. I asked my subscriber to shoot me some photos. Yeah, it's got to be a third party. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense. Pokemon wouldn't do that. They don't take 151 and put it, specialty sets never go in other products. It's not like you're going to go and buy, like this tin of product and find 151 in it. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be, it's going to be 151 or nothing. So it's a third party breaking it, probably selling, you'll probably get Scarlet and Violet base set in it, and he's selling 151 because, MJ Holdings probably trying to push out the base set and get it out of there because they're afraid they're going to get stuck on it long term. So, all right, guys. Well, we made it to the end of the list. Oh, thought I did. Let's see what we got. Pokemon TCG. Okay. Thanks for the info. I am on vacation, so trying it out for those 3 days. I'm only gonna accept PayPal, friends and family, and Cash App payments. As I was watching Alex videos, he got scammed. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that this old product is being pushed out. Yeah, I mean, the old product always gets pushed out. If it's not selling, they got to get rid of it. MJ Holding can't sit on it forever, so they'll do what they need to try and get it out of there for sure. As for the rip and chips, that's why I use TikTok. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. TikTok gives you the security to get the sales and not have the scamming part of it, because they have to purchase through TikTok. The money's there. It's done. It's a sealed deal. It's finished. And if they do something screwy, like try and cancel the order, they can only cancel the order before you ship it. So if they do have hits, the only catch is that I had one person one time on TikTok do something. It just made me, it's kind of irritating. And now the prevention is that you just hit the ship as soon as that you're done ripping it, or if you're before you rip it, you do hit the ship on it so that you lock it in. Because if you don't hit the shipping on TikTok, then of course, then they can do that. So then they can cancel the order right after you're done opening it, and you could actually lose money that way because you open packs and not have any place to send it. And you can't dispute it. If they try and cancel it, all I do is put on the descriptions non-refundable, and then if they try to non-refundable one's open, and then if they try and refund it afterwards, TikTok won't let them do that because it says non-refundable. So. TCG, Pokemon TCG, I think he got scammed from international buyer. That was the issue. Always, yeah, I don't do anything international, period. I don't do anything international sales. Everything is domestic only. There's enough of a market here. I don't need to be sending overseas. It just doesn't make sense. There are some individuals that I've done, stuff with on YouTube here, Raikai Yin and Lin and all those creators that are in Canada. The Millennial Collector, another one I've done work with him, in the past. When we've done things like that and collabs and stuff like that, then yeah, I've shipped to Canada, but that's probably the most, even some YouTube giveaways and things like that. But otherwise, everything I do domestic. There's enough of a market here in the United States. You don't need to get out of the United States. Doesn't make sense. I've been burned on eBay before, so that's why I'm doing payments the way I am. Yep. Nope. Absolutely. Whatever's secure to you and however far you want to branch out from that is definitely acceptable. There's enough of a market that you're not going to drive people away by making them buy ahead of time, and going that route for sure. But, all right, guys. Well, if you want to Pokemon TCG, let me know where you're going to be when you do your rip and ship, and I can jump in and maybe join you, and we can have some fun. I wonder how Pokemon Rev sells those packs. He does, but does not talk about. Oh, because he does them through his website. So he does website sales. And when you own your own website, even so I've got Shopify. So if I use my Shopify right now and the orders come in, and the orders are sitting here, I can hold them, and I there's no way for them to refund it unless I refund them. So if you're doing it through your own website, such as Shopify, then they can't get they can't cancel an order once they pay unless, there's always ways, don't get me wrong. They could call fraud to the credit card company. They can do all this crap. There's always ways if they wanted to. But in general, I use Spotify or Shopify. It's a little bit easier of a platform. It's $30 a month for me to have it. If you've got under 1,000 items, you can use Shopify for $30 a month. It gives you full access to charges. They can use credit card. They can use PayPal. They can use their shop app. Shop Pay. There's a lot of different things that they can use for that, and it kind of locks them in. So that's what I've been using too, also for my side sales. But yeah, that's where we are on that. That's where your options are, and that's how PokeRev and a lot of people do it on their own websites, because then you lock prices and they can't cancel orders without you allowing it. So if they already open packs and they can't cancel it. I'm going to be putting up packs and prices and descriptions on each video for each day. That'll work. You can try it out. Like I said, if you start getting some people moving and you're having some fun and you're seeing some really good gains, definitely look at that Shopify. Great way to get in, get a decent shop going for a really decent price. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just get a trial. Do what works for you. Do PayPal right now, or do Cash App, and that way you lock in your pricing, and then have some fun. Try it out. If it starts getting successful and you start making some income, then definitely upgrade to that Shopify, because that's going to allow you to sell packs ahead of time. That's going to give you the opportunity to really have some growth on that end where you can really push some things. But, all right, guys. Well, I am going to be calling it quits for tonight. Thank you, everybody that's joined again for a lovely Tuesday evening here. Once again, if you guys are interested in Pokemon 151 Japanese, make sure you guys go to the Discord, There's a link right on the general page of Discord for you to purchase those at $80 a piece. I believe it's $7.50 flat rate shipping on those as well. So if you buy 3, if you buy 10, you're going to get flat rate shipping on those. I'm trying to get a minimum of 20 ordered here because I got to order 20. The only way I'm getting that price is if I order 20 of them. So if you could, if we can get a few more, if I can get up to at least 15 ordered from you guys, then I can have no problem doing that as well. And that way I can get that order out. I've got 3 people in the orders right now. Just so you know, if you are watching this, I do have your order sitting there. I'm just trying to get it up to that 20. If I can get to 15, I can cover the last ones myself. That's not a problem. But I'll get those orders in if I can get up to 15. So we need 6 more orders, 6 more boxes. If someone wants to come in and buy a couple boxes, that'd be fantastic. So we can get that order in for everybody. But other than that, thank you guys, everybody, for joining. Once again, greatly appreciated to have you in here this evening. We got one more for Pokemon TCG. I have a whatnot, but gonna set up drip TikTok shops. Yeah. The nice thing is that I will suggest, and this is something I wish I would have done at the beginning, if you're looking at doing drip TikTok in shops, get a Shopify. Get a Shopify. I wish I would have gone that route because then you could take everything from Shopify and upload it into those, and you can use the central. You can make it the central hub for your quantities. So if you sell on TikTok, if someone buys on TikTok, it removes the quantities from all of your sources. That's the one thing I wish I would have done, and I'm going to be in the works of doing. I'm kind of rebuilding that currently to shift that so it goes through my Shopify into TikTok. Just because of the fact that then I can also offer like flat rate shipping and things like that for individuals as well. So there are some really good advantages to that. And it makes it so that you could control that inventory. Because the problem now, if I list something, like now I have something listed on eBay and on TikTok. If it sells on TikTok, I got to be sure I go to eBay and remove it from the listing there. Or if someone may buy it from both or buy all of them from one and one from another one and I'm screwed. Then I can't do it. So that's one thing I would really suggest. If you're looking at drip, shops, and TikTok, get a Shopify because Shopify links between everything. I mean, it literally goes to TCG Player. It links into everything. So before you get too excited about it, make sure you look into that. So yeah, I'll make sure to check you out tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'll make sure to drop in and at least visit for a little bit. Other than that, guys, thank you everybody for joining in and enjoying this evening. Hopefully you have a fantastic rest of the week. And once again, check out the link in the Discord if you want some Japanese 151 at $80 a booster box right now. I'm trying to get an order in. I'm trying to get it up to about 15 in order to get that order out. So if you do enjoy Pokemon 151 and want a good price on it right now, it's almost $100 right now on eBay. So if you want to jump in on that, make sure you guys check out the link for that as well in the Discord. Other than that, thank you everybody for joining once again, and we will see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time here on Northwoods TCG on YouTube. Otherwise, if you want to just come out and hang out and have some fun and discuss things in Pokemon, I don't care what we discuss in Pokemon. On TikTok, come and join me on TikTok Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time over there as well. Have a little fun. We open the rip and ship some packs. We sit down, we relax, we talk some Pokemon, and you can pick your own favorite tunes there on the TikTok app as well. So come and join us on either one. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic night, and we hope to see you next week here Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Otherwise, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.